So guys, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Before we get into it, how about a 1-minute elevated pitch from the team?
Our team was selling the benefit of education, partnered with Capitec. Zanika, could you take us through the planning stages?
Okay, so our basic concept was to keep it simple. It was to engage with our clients as they were approaching our stand. We wanted to get them to know every single thing that they need to know as to how to apply for the benefit, who actually qualifies for the benefit, what the benefit is all about. So we did extensive research in terms of just pointers of how people can actually get smarter and stand out from the crowd. In terms of standing out from the crowd, that's where we also incorporated the money element that we did, which was quite clever also because it was a pamphlet that people could keep, and at the back there it also had all the steps of how to apply for the benefit. And then we decided to wear graduation gowns because it's all an educational concept, and that was another way of us standing out from the crowd.
I must say it was quite clear that there was a benefit in this activation because it was called out everywhere, and I really did enjoy that. So we knew that there was a 4,000 rand you can get off, and it was money that you were getting back. And the fact that you printed it on money, actually, well,
very smart. Yeah.
You know, that was quite smart, and the printing, and I thought it felt like real money. That was very good. So we knew that it was an activation that you could benefit from, and that was a really good call.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
With everything, the good comes with the bad, or the not so good, if you want to look at it from a slightly positive perspective. Whilst the activation overall was good, it was a little underwhelming in terms of the stand being very untidy, the activity at your particular stand, it seemed less busy and active compared to the other team. And I did feel that there was one or two people who were working really hard and pushing, whilst one or two of you were just nowhere.
I'd like to ask, the gown element, was that intentional or was it just reactional where you realized that we need something else to create interest? Was that always part of the plan?
It was intentional, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I must say there was an energy thing, and I mean, obviously this is still high-level conversation. So important that there was a clear energy, and I thought that the gowns and the money and all that aspect usually did drive people to the stand, and there was a concerted effort to ensure that there was energy in that particular stand. Was there a plan in terms of who does what in that stand?
With regards to the plan on who does what, we agreed that we'll have a rotational system of if people are out on the floor, as I can say, there'll be people waiting at the counter to maybe greet anyone that comes up to see. And I do understand that maybe our stand looked very underwhelming at that moment. But what was so important to us is putting those gowns on people. Education is something that I feel is intimidating, especially if it's not accessible for you. And putting a gown on somebody that turns to you and says, I never ever thought I would wear something like this. And to make them feel important in that moment. I felt like, for me, the activation, it really touched my heart because I felt that we imparted that to the people that we interacted with, which is very important to me.
So guys, did you think that the activation connected with customers?
Sylvester, I think with that is a bit tricky because not that the consumers need to connect with us, more the promoters need to connect with the consumer. I mean, the lifespan of having to engage with a customer is 3 seconds. And if you can't grab their attention in that 3 seconds, they'll be bored and they'll walk away. They're used to having promotions. So with the graphic element, it added that surprise or rather reward that if you come to us, you might actually be walking away with something, hence the money graphic. So that made things a bit easy, especially when you see someone walk with money because you want one. And now the connection comes together nicely. Going back to Sheridel's stand being messy, it was actually busy because people came in large groups when they came. So every now and then we had to neaten up and tidy up, but people came and wanting all the graphic money. more than the flyer itself. So,
Can I interject there?
so
Just to find out, there was 2 bottles on the floor, for example. And I do believe those were yours, right? Or were they
water bottles.
Water bottles. Yeah, so that's not...
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
I know, Trevor, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to say a lot of the approach came with person to person. So how you approach people, how you use the money element. Because I know with me, I use it as, here, ma'am, here's 4,000 off. And then the person's really like shocked as to, okay, why 4,000? And that's where you jump in and you say, this is GetSmarter. It's a Capitec benefit. You get 4,000 Rand off an online course. So already you have that whole hook and you reel them in.
Yes.
So it varied from person to person how you use your approach. So that's why our stand wasn't necessarily the main thing, but it was the engagement that each person made with the person. That's the connection you made. Because I know a lot of conversations with me carried on further, not just from the benefit, but now someone telling you how they want to study further, how they've been looking for something like this, and they're actually a Capitec client. So it really made a relation of something so small.
I loved that energy,
Yeah,
actually, you guys, and I saw it. It was fantastic, right? Almost like borderline stalking. No, it was great. It really was. Great effort.
I also appreciated the use of many languages in your stand. It was very clear. And just being able to break down the benefits to a customer in their own language is something that we underestimate in this country, and it's important. And I felt that that really came out very, very, very strong. The gowns for me were also quite the thing, because I think everybody wants to see themselves wearing a gown, celebrating a graduation, and I must say I had some really powerful moments that I saw that being activated and people feeling so chuffed about the potential opportunity, and all they have to do is bank with Capitec and they can get 4,000 Rand off. I mean, that was quite something. Who came up with that idea?
Which idea?
The gowns.
Was it one person or did
So
we-
what happened is I sketched the graduation hat. And from there, it started creating conversation between us that we can actually get
An outfit.
the hat. No, maybe let's get the sash.
Yeah.
And when we contacted the guys, when Nash contacted the guy was like, okay, cool, we struck the deal. And he was like, might as well, I'll give you the gowns as well, which was a pretty awesome thing.
Oh, it was organic.
Yeah, so things were just falling in place.
We actually learned from the flash mob incident. What was the one element that tied us together? That was one of the elements of feedback. And we move forward with the gown.
So it was an organic group decision that worked out.
It was great.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Something else that was really important for us was the game that we were playing, which really reinforced sort of the information about the benefit itself. We didn't want people to just walk away with just the money or just the flyer, but to actually interact with them and give them the five facts, and they could play a Q&A instead of just giving them the incentive, which was the cooler bag. So that was really important for us to keep on reinforcing the message, so that it sticks with people in their mind. Yeah.
Was it fun?
It was.
Very
It was fun for
fun.
us, and it was also really fun surprisingly enough, for the customers. And they took it so seriously that they would get nervous. It was very cute. They interact like the whole as if, oh my gosh, okay, give me another one. I want to win. So it was really, really good to interact in that manner.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you think you could have done better?
Now that you speak about it, our stand could have been neater. We could have been more structured in that term, in terms of keeping the look and feel consistent, neat, tidy, airy. So that for me is one thing that I think in hindsight we actually did overlook, and we got too excited with the interaction. So that fell through the cracks.
Okay.
And with every idea, there's always room for improvement.
Absolutely.
Always.
Always.
Yeah.
But Sylvester, Nandi and Odette, I would really like to appeal to you and reiterate that what we did resonated within those people. And that was the most important thing for us. I've walked past, sorry, Bam.
No, carry on.
I've walked past so many beautiful activation stands at the mall. I don't remember what they were talking about or what they did, but I feel like what we did stayed with those people, even if it inspired them to study.
Do you think that you reached enough people, considering that the other team, for example, finished all their flyers and their pamphlets and the collateral? They literally ran out. Do you feel like you could have reached more people? do you
Or
think
did you
that
do the same? I don't even know. Did you guys finish
I
it
also
down?
In terms of our flyers, the flyers that we were supplied from Capitec, we still had some left over. But also because in our strategy, we had sort of two flyers because we had the one, which was the money element, and then we had the one that we were given. In both was the information. So it was just a case of we give the client both, but we know that chances are they're going to keep the money because it's something different.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. What I'd like to say is I really like the proudly South African energy. It really felt, local. It was localized, relatable. I enjoyed the little bits. I mean, I saw Paul walking. He's like, "Hey, Sissy," It was like, you speaking in Xhosa. We had to Xhosa or Xhosa. Yes, your deepest Xhosa, which I was like, if it has your energy and your intensity too, you can get. And at the same time also as well, just interacting with everyone, which was fantastic. I loved that element. Did you do enough? Were you coordinated? Were you all as energetic? Did you do enough to separate from the other team? We'll have to see, because I will say, with that interaction and energy, not all of you were the same and giving everything you have. And I think you do know that. But I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, and at this stage of the game, both teams did a very, very good job. However, it's the finer details that will separate who gets to be in the elimination round and who will be safe. And remember, it's also the finer details of what each of you bring to the table that will differentiate you from your fellow competitors in this competition. It is still a competition. And whilst you work as a team, you are still chasing an individual career aspiration. And that's something you must never lose sight of. So, well done. Your activation was very well executed. Yes, of course, room for improvement. As you say, there is always room for improvement. But at the same time, don't lose sight of what's happening here.
You
in
have
this
strong
competition.
people that you're contending against.
Absolutely.
You have strong fighters, and I think it's important that every single element is actually amped up as much as possible. When you can make a difference, you have to push it because every single element matters.
It's only going to get tougher from this point.
And I think we'll only be eliminating the person who wasn't strong enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.